Hello, this is Mercy from Dalriata. Today this is a extracurricular video, I guess. It's not part of the weekly summary. This is a video about keys and drawing mythics, and it's also just very briefly about the world event this week. So let's do the event first. Hang on, let me just draw my hourly gold. Or now the reason why I'm doing this video is one, because this world event is incredibly easy, and I want to show that you don't need any mythics. Oh, what's wrong with my computer? I want to show that you don't need any mythics, but I also want to. I've seen my guild discussing keys and drawing mythics on chat, and I want to address the randomness of drawing mythics and the chances of drawing mythics, because there's been some interesting comments which show people that clearly have interesting thoughts or different strategies, and I thought I would just describe what I think. And see where we go from there. We might spark a bit of dialogue. Anyway, let's go to the event first. So the event is Wildways. It's a Wild Fields event, and it's extremely easy. I'm going to show you, there are many teams that you can choose for this. So of course it's just the troop restrictions are warrior and striker and green. But we actually have a lot available. Now this is the team I've got here: Essence of Evil, Blade Dancer, Goblin, and I'll explain why I've got this team. This isn't the best team you can have. I chose this team because, again, in chat somebody had said that they don't have any of the mythics. So the mythics, there are a lot of mythics available for this one. So there are a lot of teams, of course, you can make because of that. So let's just have a look at the mythics for a start. So Ketris the Bull obviously is a Taurus. It's a Taurus event. Well, it's a Taurus week, I mean, so there's bonuses there. Mambasira is a new one this year. She does a lot of damage, so she does damage to 22 to 44 to 6 random enemies, and she's quite useful. And a lot of people have her in the team because she's early on, of course, a massive death dealer and pretty much kills all the opponents outright. Tina's, I'll come back to Pan. Tina is, of course, a true damage death dealer, and is brilliant. So 39 to 78 true damage is a lot more damage than Mambasira. So also extremely effective. Pan does more damage, but it's not true damage, and it's to fewer enemies, but with a knock to the back. Has some not so brilliant traits, but these are all massive damage dealers, and the strikers, warriors and strikers is obviously the theme, so there's no surprise. But there's actually some really acceptable non-mythic alternatives, because the medals this week, quite importantly, the medals are spell and skulls. So if you think about the spell side of things, 160% skull and spell. So we're only on this is Tuesday. We're on the second day. I've got 2 medals and a badge. I think on the next level I will have 3 medals. So you know, that's an awful lot of damage. So the strategy I use, here's the strategy I use, and I know not many people do this. So when we play an event, I know I'm going to buy up to, during the week, I know I'm going to buy up to here at least. I always buy up to tier 6. I know everybody doesn't buy up to tier 6, and that's fine. But buy up to the maximum tier you're going to buy that week on the first day, is my advice. Like, I know I'm going to get there by the end of the week, so why not enjoy all the benefits for the entire week rather than wait to the end of the week and sort of dribble all the way through, is my point. Sometimes I buy this one and I buy it on a Sunday if we maybe are going to reach the end, if I do buy it. But that happens very rarely because that's very expensive. But so on the first day I buy right up to tier 6, which means I get all the medals, and my team is incredibly tough right from the beginning. So that's a strategy I choose. It seems silly to me not to have a potion of shielding all week when I'm going to have one on Saturday anyway. So anyway, that's how I do it. Now, what it also means is the team choice doesn't matter so much, because pretty much any team I choose this week is devastating, which is cool. I think my first team had Ketris in it. I think my next team had Mambasira and Pan in it, but I never used them. They never got the fight was over well before I even got charged, because of those medals that I have. I don't even use Essence of Evil. So let's just see. I've only got one battle left, so let's just see how it goes. But I'll just show you how this team works. So this team is all green. It's got a green class. Creates mana for green. It's Monk. So it's a good mana generating class, but Archer or Weaver, any of the green Leaf Storm guys will do fine. This hasn't even got Leaf Storm, but that would do fine. And Goblin, although it's a funny little creature at the bottom here that never even gets used, it has this thing here which gains green mana from green gem matches, because that's what I care about. I care about green and yellow gem matches. Now there's a Potion of Explosion, so the Potion of Explosion charges them, and these guys, Blade Dancer, start with 50% mana, so they've got lots of mana, and all I do is I match some more mana. I've got both my Blade Dancers up, and what does Blade Dancer do? Blade Dancer is 31 scattered damage, boosted by all enemy armor, which on your first attack from Blade Dancer is great because they're all alive and they just get tougher and tougher. So Blade Dancer gets tougher as the event goes along. My boost is 262. So Mythics, stuff off. Mambasira, Pan, Tina, you're not even doing close to this kind of damage. So this troop blows those guys out of the water. This is not a Mythic event, this one. So anyway, Blade Dancer does 31 scatter damage plus 262, so that's a lot of scatter damage. These guys have a lot of health though, but the medals maximize the damage. So let's just see what happens. Oh, they're all dead. So currently, so that was one yellow match, not a green match. It wasn't even a green match. It was a yellow match, and most of the time, actually, the Potion of Explosion charges the first Blade Dancer for me, so I don't even have to go to the awful effort of matching anything on the board. I can just cast Blade Dancer, and that's the end of the fight. So you can see Scleros is up to level 416. Scleros is exactly the same. I'm still blasting that with an AoE on the second round or even the first round. And if you look at that, I'm at the top of the guild. So I recommend that team. But you can have any team you like, because they're all awesome. This week has amazing teams, and if you go to the shop and buy up to your maximum what you're going to go to anyway, you might as well, because you might as well just enjoy it and go fast now and just have an easy week. That's my point of view for the world event. So feel free to disagree with me, but there you have it. We are easily going to defeat this one this week. We're almost about to finish stage 9. We're going to go into stage 10 and 11 will be done tomorrow. We'll be into stage 12 on Wednesday night, or my Wednesday night, so your Wednesday morning. For most of you, easily we're going to be easily finishing that. So that's great. Super easy. In fact, I can't even remember an easier one. In fact, probably like the last time we were allowed to use Blade Dancer was the easy one. Now I'm going to talk about keys. So this is I'm not going to talk about who on chat. I'm not going to call anybody out. Everybody's right in what people have been talking about on Discord and chat. They're right about keys. What I'm going to discuss is how the key strategies change over time. So they change during the month, and they change with different people depending on whereabouts you are in the game, early, mid, late, but particularly how many mythics you already have, because there's this thing called the law of diminishing returns. So drawing mythics from chests gets harder as time goes by, because as you gather more mythics, there are fewer you haven't got, so you are less likely to draw the ones you have got, more likely to draw the ones you have got. Did I say that right? You're less likely to draw the ones you haven't got, you're more likely to draw the ones you have already got. So keys become a less useful way over time of gaining mythics. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I'll kind of explain it. If you understood what I just said, you can now end the video, because you're probably going to agree with everything I say. So it's important to know. So it's important to know that this is my strategy. Well, actually it's not my strategy, it's lots of people's strategies, but it's a well-discussed strategy, but this is my opinion. So if you're going to disagree with me, don't trash anybody else. So trash me if you want to be that way about it. But this is what I'm going to say. So you have to understand where I'm coming from. So how many mythics do I have, and how many don't I have is important. So let's just see the base rarity. Show owned, apply filter. So these are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 28. Oh, no. Where did I get to? 28, 32, 36, 40, 44. Oh, well, that's it. That's it there. 42. So 42 mythics. How many don't I have? 4, 8, 12, and those two there, 3, 12, 15, 19, 23, 24. Take away, so we're talking about drawing from keys, so take away Zathanos and Zolgoth, so 21, and that's what we're talking about, I think. 21. So 44 versus 21. So even if I draw one from, yeah, that's right. So even if I draw one so if I draw a mythic from a key, it's 2 times more likely to be one I already own than one I don't own. So keys aren't brilliant for me. And I know that because when I draw from, let's just go back to owned, when I go back to the ones I own, I have started to collect multiples. 2 Flames of Anu, 2 Champions of Guard, which are it's completely useless. You'll all heard me rage when I got an extra Iron Hawk. I wanted 3 Iron Hawks, but I've got 4. And it was randomly drawing one of those. I've got 2 Kurandaras for some reason. Didn't even know I had 2 Kurandaras. 2 Mistralises, 2 Pans. And I'm not skiting. This is 2, I don't know, I had 2 Sycoraxes. That's interesting. I wonder what I could do with 2 Sycoraxes. I think I might try. I didn't even realise that. I would quite like 2 Wild Queens. Oh, 2, I've got 2 Will of Nishes. I didn't know that either. Anyway, so you start getting multiples, which is just annoying. So I don't really, it doesn't seem very economical or a good strategy for me to spend gem keys during any time of the month that is not the first Friday or the first week of the month, because I'm more likely to draw, 2 times more likely, to draw a mythic that I already have than one I don't have. So it seems to me like a waste of keys. So gem keys for me become, as I add each mythic to my collection, these keys become less valuable to me. Now the same is true for event keys. However, event keys are slightly different because event keys target particular mythics. So if we go to this, so event chests, you draw a mythic. But the thing about the mythic is you draw mythics from that event. So if you draw a mythic from the event keys this week, you draw a Wild Plains mythic. So you have to know what the Wild Plains mythics are. So for instance, before you go and open keys up, you want to go do this. So you want to go dum 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 base rarity, bum dum dum, Wild Plains, and you do this each week if you want to work it out. So here they are. So it's Ketris and the Lord of Slaughter. Who are the ones I don't have? Let's go have a look. None. So I've got everybody. So there is a 0% chance for me to draw a new mythic from an event key, despite the fact it says 1.11. So there is a 0.11. So 1 in a that's 1 in 1,000. There's a 1 in 1,000 chance of me drawing, or it's 1 in 960 something, drawing a mythic. But there is a 100% chance if I draw a mythic that it will be one I already own. So I should not choose event chests. If you had no mythics, then yes. So during the event week, if you had no Wild Plains mythics, that would be your best chance to draw Ketris the Bull or Lord of Slaughter if you don't have them. If you have one of them, then remember your chance is halved, because the chances of you drawing the one you already have is equal, so 50%. So there you go. So that's a bit of discussion around event chests. So event chests are good, but it is circumstantial. So these keys, the event keys, are worth holding. So I'm not going to spend my 125 keys this week because there's no point. I will wait until next week, and next week might be, let me guess, where is it going to be? I'm just going to guess. So let's say it's the Blighted Lands, and I choose the Blighted Lands because I do not have a mythic from the Blighted Lands. So I want Abyssinia. I think that's the only mythic from the Blighted Lands. I think. I think it is. Let's just have a look. Yes. So if so let's just pretend that the Blighted Lands was next week. I don't think it is. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I think Blighted Lands is coming soon though. But anyway, there is a 0.11% from chance of drawing Abyssinia from event keys. So I will definitely be spending all my event keys to try and get Abyssinia, because that is the best chance of me getting Abyssinia at pretty much any other time. So you have to be targeted with your strategy. So that's why I will save up event keys for that particular event. So last week we had Blackhawk, and Blackhawk I don't have this guy, Megavore. So I spent lots of event keys trying to get Megavore, and I didn't get it. So I didn't get my 0.11%. But it was worth trying. So that was definitely worth doing, even though it didn't pan out for me. So you've always got to remember that keys are still a gamble. Okay? So event keys have a 0.11% chance of drawing a mythic. Gem keys are exactly the same. So you have that point. Oh, is it 0.1? Oh, it's 0.1. So it's slightly less. So it's 1 in 1,000 of drawing a mythic, which is still pretty good. But you draw from the entire pool. So you can draw any mythic of all of them. And that's what I was saying. That's the problem with gem keys, is it depends on how many mythics you have as opposed to how many you don't have as to how lucky you're going to be with gem keys. Now let's look at the other thing. So glory keys. how good are glory keys? So glory keys are cheap. We get lots of glory keys. In the last week I've already got 418. No, the last like 4 days I've got 418. So usually I get about 2,000 a month. So there's lots of glory keys. You open 200 chests at a time, and you get to, and when you run out of keys, you get to spend your glory. So you get to buy glory keys. You get to open 50 chests for 1,000 glory. So there's 256,000. So 256 times 50 is lots. I can't even think of how many that is. Somebody can do maths better than me in my head. So that's lots and lots of keys I could open. But what's the chance of drawing a mythic? So, so is it worth doing? Let's just have a look at this. A mythic. So it takes 0.01, which is one chest. It's a percent. So that's one chest every 10,000. Is that right? I think it is. So you have to draw lots of chests to draw a mythic from glory. It does happen, and it does happen strangely. It feels like a whole lot more than that. But I have numerous times spent 50,000 glory and not drawn a mythic. I have even once spent, I think, 100,000 glory to try and get the new mythic of the month, and did succeed. So you can drop a lot of glory. I have, however, spent 1,000 glory and got the mythic. So it's all chance. It's all gambling. So that's a very bad chance of drawing a mythic. Now, unfortunately, it also falls prey to the same problem that gem keys do. So you have that law of diminishing returns. So if I win a mythic or if I luckily manage to hit the chance of drawing a mythic from a glory chest, and I get a mythic, it still is probably going to be, is more likely to be one of the ones I already have. So that's even worse. So glory keys are really, really bad. So as time goes by, even though I've got thousands and thousands of glory keys, the chances of me drawing a mythic that I don't have, a useful mythic, are worse. So it's terrible. So glory keys are appalling for me. They're better for somebody who doesn't have any mythics. If you have 3 mythics, and therefore there is 60 odd mythics out there that you don't have, glory keys are tremendous. Well, gem keys are even better, 10 times better, and event keys are even better. But the law of diminishing returns. So the more mythics you get, the worse these things get. Okay, and I'm going to come to a big point soon, but I'm going to talk about gold keys now. Gold keys, you can't draw mythics. So you only get common and rare troops. So forget about it. You basically are opening gold chests to get multiples of mythics that you can then disenchant and get souls, or you're after this stuff. So you're after the gems, the souls, the gold, and the glory from it, which is what I'm after. So I like gold chests because you get some stuff. And some trait stones, but who cares about the trait stones? I've got thousands and thousands, 16,000 minor blue trait stones, or whatever. Those become irrelevant. This becomes interesting. So they are useless, but I like opening them up. They're not good for mythics, so don't pin your hopes on those. Now, guild keys. So guild keys are they're a bit like event keys. So they're a special case. So they are different again. So they mean something different. So you get these from, everybody should know this, but you get these from cashing in your seals, collecting your seals, claiming your seals in your guild tab. So let's just do that, just because there might be somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I can't believe there would be. But let's just go here. You go to the guild, and you go seals, and you do things, and they add up. I've got 588 now. I'm going to claim some more. And 450. So I've got 450 seals. You can have 2,000 during the month. If you use an orb, let's use an orb. Yes, I will use an orb. You can use an orb any time during the month, and it increases your maximum to now. My maximum now for the month is that. So I got 300 extras just then, and my maximum increases as well. Now, it didn't used to be like that. That changed about a year ago, but now it is better. I don't do that. I only did that for a demonstration, but I usually only use orbs on the week that we get the mythic, to ensure that we get there by the Friday. So now this is the important bit. So for chest upgrades are the important bit. So as your guild collect seals during the week, so our guild has collected 17,000 seals during this week so far. When you spend a seal to convert it to a key to open a guild chest to try and draw a mythic, it matters how many seals your guild has already opened out of the 40,000. So at the start of the week, you can only draw common and rare cards. So the common and uncommon, sorry. So white and green cards. So you can't draw mythics at the beginning of the week. So there is no point opening up guild chests on a Monday. We have 17,000. This is now Tuesday for us, Tuesday for me, Tuesday night. We have 17,000 weekly seals so far. So that means we have gone down to here. So we're between 10 and 20,000. So we can open up. If I opened up a guild chest right now, I can get a mythic. But if I wait till tomorrow, when we hit 20,000, not only can I draw a mythic from the guild chest, I don't draw commons. So that dramatically increases the chance to draw a mythic, because it means there are no commons in the pool, which removes many of the troops. So I'm not sure of the maths, and I don't think it tells us. Actually, I don't think, no, that won't tell us. But we can go look at the chest pool, but I don't think it actually tells us. But I'm guessing that as you see the logic here, you're going to see that it's probably better than gem keys, and it's probably better than event keys. So when we get to the end of the week, well, more for our guild, it's more like Thursday, we'll probably hit 40,000. We don't have to really, we just hit it now. We used to have to struggle, but we don't anymore, I mean. When you hit 40,000, you don't get the uncommon cards either. So most of the cards are out of the pool. If you have collected all the Guardian cards, the Guardian cards are out of the pool. Probably not everybody has done that, but you want to collect all the Guardian cards, put them up to Mythic, and disenchant them, and just have 4 of each of them. And the Guardian cards are the ones like Finesse and Ferocity and those guys. So that increases your chances. So you only get these cards, and you can mostly get these ones, but it does increase your chance of drawing a mythic or a legendary, and particularly a mythic, which is what we're talking about now. So seals are great, but only on a Sunday. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let's just go back to where we were. We were in chests, weren't we? So let's just see. Let's just go into this. Let's see if it tells us. So I've got 18,000. I'll only ever use these on a Friday, and I only ever use them on the first Friday of the month. And I'm going to talk about that strategy in a second, because that's important. So I'm not going to open any chests, of course. I'm not going to do those. I'm going to just see. Oh, yes, we do have a chance. So here we go. So there is twice the chance, 0.02. So there's a tenth of, is it a tenth? Fifth. A fifth of the chance of a gem of a gem key, of finding one on a gem key. It's a fifth of a chance of finding one on an event key. But we've also seen the chance of one on an event is tempered, because you would only open them if you don't have the mythic, in which case your chances are improved. Not improved beyond 0.1, but they're improved of finding a mythic that you want. This, of course, is the general pool. So when you on any day during the week, so if I did it right now, I could draw any mythic. the important thing is these seals are important to use on the first week of the month, because like event keys, you can target a particular mythic. So this is where the crux of this video is coming now. So these are much less. It's less chance. They're twice as good as glory keys, but they're a fifth as good as the event and the gem keys, essentially, depending on those. That's if you're not being strategic. But you can be strategic with the guild chests. So that the strategy with the guild chests is to not use them. Don't use these at any time during the month, except the first week of the month, because you don't. This 0.2 is so low. You don't want to draw a mythic. You score on your 0.2, and then draw one that you already have, because that would be really sucky. In fact, that's exactly what I did last week when I drew the fourth, Ironhawk. This is exactly how I drew that fourth Ironhawk, which was just dumb. It was just a waste. I just threw away seals, because what that does is not only is it a fifth of the chance of the gem key of getting a mythic. When I do draw it, it's 2 times more likely to be a card that I've already got. So it's really, really bad. So, so hopefully you get this. Hopefully everybody's getting this. So, I don't know how to summarize that. I will try and summarize it at the end. But anyway, now I'm building up to the strategy. Here's the strategy. So, if you think about time think about gems as a monthly cycles, is really important. So if we talk about monthly cycles, the first week of the month, starting from the first Friday, and it might fall on the 1st, but it might fall on the 5th, might fall on the 7th. That week that starts on the first Friday of the month, you can only draw in Guild, Glory and Gem the new mythic of the month. Now what that does mean, that means for people like me, that means gem keys, glory keys and guild keys suddenly become a whole lot more valuable for that week only. So because I won't draw a card that I already have. So my gem keys are 3 times more valuable. My glory keys are 3 times more valuable. My guild keys are 3 times more valuable. So I spend fewer keys to get the mythic during that week. I hope you understand that. Now, because I have so many mythics already, because there are so few for me to get, there is no point me spending keys at any other time but that week. So it's pointless. There was a time when the day after that first week, so the second Friday of the month, I would spend all my gem keys, because then it was exciting, because then I could again once draw from the pool. If I had any gem keys left over from that first week, if I got lucky and got it early, got the new mythic early, then I had some spare keys, so I would use them on that Friday. That was true while I had fewer mythics than I were yet to draw. So, but that is no longer true. So that it doesn't work for me anymore. That's a dumb strategy. It will, however, work for lots of people. So, for instance, we have people in our guild who have 5 or 6 mythics. In which case, the second Friday of the month is the best time for them to spend their gem keys. They should spend all their gem keys, not their event keys. They should not spend their event keys. They should spend their glory keys, because their glory keys are very easy to accumulate. In fact, they should spend lots of glory too. And probably they should spend all their guild keys. because then they've got 3 weeks to build them up to try for that new one again. Now for me, that's terrible strategy, because I'm just wasting resources that I could be using the next month when the next new mythic comes out. It is more important for me, in fact it is incredibly important for me, I must get that new mythic every month, because I can't, it's terrible, it would absolute disaster if I miss it, because I won't draw it from the random pool. Because one, I don't spend keys on the random pool anymore, because it's a disaster, a statistical disaster. But the chances of me drawing one with a gem key, say I miss it, say I missed, what was it, the Archdiva. Say I missed the Archdiva last week, and then I have to get it now in the general pool, it would be a gem key, it would be, goodness me, so I would have to draw it from a gem key, so it would be 0.11% of drawing a mythic. And then it would be, I think there's 65 mythics, so then there's a 1 in 65 chance on top of that. So after that, after I drew one, it's a 1 in 65 chance of me drawing the Archdiva, which is just ridiculous. That's not gambling. That's, I mean, that's, the odds are so bad. That's not roulette. That's not even a gambling game. Nobody would ever play any gambling game that had such bad odds. So it's a disaster if I miss that. So I need to save all my keys. I cannot spend them during the month. And there will be other people in our guild who are in that spot at the in that position at the moment. But they probably still gamble them, and they really, really shouldn't. It's a disaster. So you need that. You need to save your keys for that first Friday, if you have more mythics than you don't have. Okay, there we go. I think I've said it so many times now, I'm probably boring people to tears. Now, I think there was one more thing I had to say. Oh, of course. So, for people like me, so for end game players, when you've got more mythics than you haven't got, the way to get new mythics. So sorry, the way to spend your keys is to only spend them on the first Friday of the month. Only, full stop. Nothing else. And when you do go for that one on the Friday of the month, you have to you have to commit to it. Like I would, if I had to, I would spend all of that glory, I would be in tears. I would be in a puddle on the floor crying if I had to spend. I will tell you in a second how I do it. But if I had to spend all my resources, I'd probably have to stop playing for a week to recover. But the amount of resources I accumulate over the month, because I don't spend them on anything else, it pretty much ensures that I get it. So I don't stress too much anymore. But anyway, I have got the last 11 in a row. So there you go. So this is how important it is. You have to do it, because it is a total disaster if you don't. I can't emphasize that enough. So what happens if I miss it? If I missed it, I have to wait. And I have to wait because the only place I can go is here. And this is how you have to, as an endgame player, you have to get the older mythics by making them. You can't just win them anymore. So you may do, and of course it's gambling, of course it's random, of course you're going to see people on chat get mythics that they haven't got before. But the law of diminishing returns say it's harder and harder. Every mythic you get, the next one's harder. So this is what you have to do. You have to save up your 4,000 and then you can buy one. And this is what you do. You wait until the ones you have come out. Now I'm in the position now where this week I've got Possessed King, I've got Kurandara, I've got Pharaoh Nefertani. You have to make these ones. So do I buy, I have 4,000 jewels, do I buy Tianyu? Now Tianyu is not that great. In fact, I don't have Tianyu. I've never used them. I've used them on alts, which do have it, and I've seen him used in events and stuff like that. Do I buy Tianyu this week with my 4,000? That is the question. Do you buy a crap mythic you don't have? The answer is probably yes. The answer is yes, you do if Tianyu comes from Shintang, sorry. You do, because I can't get my power plus 9 because I need a mythic. I don't have another Shintang mythic. So yes, I haven't done it yet because I can't bear the idea of having to buy a crap mythic. He's better than he used to be. He was really crappy, but they've improved him and he is a bit better. But seriously, how many teams do you see using Tianyu? Very, very few. And I did this last week because I needed, the Queen Aurora was available last week. I don't have Queen Aurora, but I didn't actually need Queen Aurora because I think Queen Aurora comes from Silverglade. I've already got a mythic from Silverglade, so I didn't really need her. But I kind of really need Tianyu. So I'm going to have to suck it in, and it means it's going to take me a month to collect 4,000 again. But it also means that I will have one of the mythics I don't have, and there will be 100% chance of me getting a mythic I don't have. I will then have 45 mythics, and I will then have only 20 mythics to get. So, you know, when you put it like that, I have to buy them, really, don't I? So yes. And then that, you'll notice that, well, I said the number of mythics I got again, and again it's not to skite, it's to show you, then that reduces my chances of, that when I buy Tianyu, my gem keys are therefore devalued again by 1/65th. So suddenly my gem keys are worth a little bit less. Suddenly my glory keys are worth a little bit less. Suddenly my guild keys are worth a little bit less. So these guys become worse and worse during the game. So if you don't have many mythics, spend them any time. Spend them with impunity. Draw mythics at any time. If you have more mythics than you don't have, then you have to start being a little more circumspect, and you have to be thinking about what day of the month that you spend your keys on. I suggest you only spend them on the first Friday of the month. As soon as you hit 2 times more mythics than you don't have, never ever spend any keys, except for event keys, at any time of the month that isn't the first Friday of the month. So that's my story. Remember, event keys are different. They are different. They are very exceptional. These change in value from week to week, and it entirely depends yet again on how many you have, but the pool is smaller because the pool is 1 or 2. So like I said, if Blighted Lands, when Blighted Lands comes, I will be spending every single event key I own, and I will be scrabbling for more during the week to try and spend them during that week. If it's this week, for instance, where I have both mythics for the kingdom, then these are valueless. There is no value in event keys for me this week. Okay, that is the video. Hopefully, I explained the strategy long enough. Hopefully I didn't drive you crazy. It's actually massively complicated. So don't despair if you didn't know this. I don't know. I don't think anything I've said is actually controversial or it's really arguable, except for perhaps the cut-offs as to where you decide, where you decide those strategies change. So you might decide, I may be a little more cautious, and you might decide, I'm going to wait till I've got 50 mythics before I'm going to employ Mercy's strategy. Or you might employ it a bit earlier. But really, what I said still is true. That it's a sliding scale. So that law of diminishing returns, you've got to decide where on that sliding scale of diminishing returns that you are more comfortable, but I think everything I've said is true. So there you go. Comment please, argue is fine, but it's pretty hard to argue in text with such a big and complicated topic as this. It's very hard to explain in just a bunch of small sentences. I hope this helped at least one person. I hope it helps more. I'm sorry for going on and on and on so much, but I really wanted to just hammer it home and explain, because it's super poorly understood. Get stuck in on the event. Thank you guys for making this game so awesome. I just love it and love you all. This is just the best. Have a good week. Talk to you at the end of it.